will suck down that back straightaway. Steve Letarte knows it too. He's a little worried.
All right. Atlanta, Saturday night. Checkereds or Wreckers reporter Streaker was on the scene.
Hell yeah.
I will say this was my fourth Atlanta race, and by far that was the most fun I've ever had at a race. I took the lady that we've shouted out before on this podcast for her first NASCAR race, and I think she's a true race fan now. She had a great time. We had a little bit of money on Mr. Brad K, and we were very close to cashing another one. But yeah, it was the crowd was electric, and it was going to be a great race, even if Brad didn't, or even if Chase didn't win. But Chase, those last 3 laps, getting to the lead, the crowd was the most electric NASCAR crowd I've ever seen. Start to finish.
How much did you have on Brad K?
It was just a little light, you know, a little $100 on Brad. So.
All right.
Yeah, you weren't here to celebrate your $10,000 you won at Pocono, but we called you out for it.
It was exciting.
I apologize. It was a tricky time. We had to figure out how to withdraw it, but the tricky triangle did me well.
Goddamn Uncle Sam got his, huh?
We'll see about that.
Downtown Brown, doesn't show up when Denny wins, shows up when Chase wins. I thought you were gonna come in here with
siren, dude.
Thought you were gonna come in here with a little more fire that Chase finally won.
It's a rainy night down here in South Florida, man. But no, I had to be here. Ring the sirens, shout it out. I knew it was coming. You guys were hating on Chase for the last all season, and I told you he was about to sneak a win in, and now he's gonna win it all. Just watch.
Yeah, I don't know who put that rumor out there that he might be on the hot seat. I don't know who could have brought that up, but he's in the playoffs. I think that seat's secured. All the foolishness that was said earlier, we can just wipe it out.
The hot seat is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Not just I feel like he had you going a little bit, Elliot, when he said that.
Not a chance. Not a chance. I knew it all along. Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. The guy's a champion.
It is crazy.
Been there,
it is crazy.
And he's running it back.
Now he is second in the point standings. And we had talked about how he was fourth in the standings, 16 winners. He would miss the playoffs, like at fourth, like just hypothetical, having some fun there. But the narrative has shifted a lot after he goes out and wins this weekend. And he almost made the Final Four last year, I think, at Martinsville. But you got to win at Hendricks.
Guy's not going anywhere. I was going to say Alex Bowman is done. Get him out of that 48 car.
Nah, I said this Saturday night as soon as it was over. There is no better way to increase your job security in the 48 than to push Chase Elliott to the win in Atlanta. That was it. Chase Elliott got a call from Mr. Hendrick in Victory Lane, and Alex Bowman looked pretty happy on pit road. I bet he called Alex Bowman first.
Shrikar, where were you sitting for the race?
Our initial seats were we were on stretch right at the second dog leg, kind of like underneath the overhang, and then we made our way down pretty much same section, just like down to the front stretch bleachers, and it was sick. Anytime someone would get like a suck on a car and then shoot to the bottom 3 wide, I was like right there where they would shoot to the bottom, and it was so electric. Brad K and Chase were doing it. Dude, they were doing it probably the most out of anyone. I saw Bowman do it a couple times. I think Hocevar had a good one once, but there's that one black. Brad did the move on Chase, got clear, and then like turned right going into turn 1. And I audibly thought he just wrecked himself and Chase full on into the wall. The racing was super intense, and it's really, really impressive to me that Chase won that race. He obviously had a fast car, but he was being the most aggressive version of Chase Elliott I've ever seen. Dare I say he was racing for his seat? No, I'm joking. But he was. It was a baller night for him. It was a baller night for Brad too. Brad had a hell of a race. He had probably the fastest car there. I think if it's not Bowman behind Chase, Brad probably wins that race. I will say though about Bowman. So there's a guy at Enterprise that started. He's our new tow truck guy. He tows our cars. He walked in wearing a Hocevar hat. And so I just started chirping him, and he showed me that he's boys with Michael McDowell, and he confirmed to me that Hocevar is getting the 48. So
that's as good as it being in the Wall Street Journal right there.
Breaking news from tow truck guy.
Tow truck guy is confirmed.
You really were out there reporting on the scene.
I mean, that's just going the extra mile for the people. You know, that's something we do for our fans.
Are you guys okay with the special guest appearance on the pod?
Special. Well, it
Yeah,
depends.
we have a very sad Brad K fan over here. Kirti, were you sad that Brad K lost? Very sad.
Did you guys did we get any merch at least?
Oh, we got so much merch. She got a Denny Hamlin tank top. She's a Denny fan now because
Smart.
she told me to bet on Denny and I didn't, and then he won. So now she's a NASCAR sharp.
Yeah, start sending the pics to the chat. Sounds like she's a
Yeah,
wizard.
yeah. But I did get a the Chris Buescher Cinnamon Toast Crunch shirt, and then I
Hell
got
yeah.
a Kyle Busch shirt too. So good weekend for the merch.
I saw they're calling him Cinnamon Toast Chris now, and I love it. I think it's great.
How's your bracket doing?
I didn't make one, dude. I'm so bummed.
Come on.
It
Well,
probably would be busted, but I
you
would
could
have
have
picked
been
Ty
the
Dillon.
you could have been the lone perfect bracket remaining. There are no perfect brackets after one round.
Yo, I will say the user experience is god awful. I have no idea where I stand. I know my bracket is totally destroyed, and I'm not in the top 5 in the world, but I have no idea where my stuff stands other than a lot of red.
Yeah, at least they got it to work, and I'm sure they'll take our feedback for next year. But
Who's
My
the leader out of
finals is still in place.
who do you have
who's
in the
the leader out of
finals?
y'all two?
Chase
Yeah,
and
I
Larson.
got Larson winning it all.
Daniel Suarez. We predicted this, spoke it into existence out at Trackhouse. It looks like Connor Zilic is going to slide in there full time next year. Are we going to see a 99 Red Bull car for most of the season next year?
Hell
That'd be
yeah.
pretty sick.
I mean, the writing was on the wall. It's kind of crazy to think about. He's been in the Cup Series since like what 2017, 2018, and he's raced for JGR, Stewart Haas, and now Trackhouse. So it's like he's raced in good equipment. He's won races. Like he just won in Mexico and junior motorsports equipment. So I think he's going to find a ride, but it's kind of a perfect storm. Like I think you could put like a lot of different vets in the same car as him, and they also would probably get replaced by Connor Zilic. So I wouldn't be surprised if like Suarez takes like a Cole Custer route, like goes Xfinity for a year or two and then comes back. So
I did Juan Pablo Montoya ever win an oval race? I don't think he did
never
in
an
the
oval.
Cup Series. Yeah,
You
so I
shut
mean,
your mouth, man. Juan Pablo Montoya is a saint.
I've
Didn't he wreck into a like a tow truck?
A jet
he
dryer.
did jet dryer.
Yeah, the legend.
No, I fuck with Montoya. He's the guy that Christian Horner said was so good at an F1 car, he quit because he was like, I could never do that. Like for Montoya to come over here and not be able to win an oval race, I know he was in the 42, says a lot, but yeah, Daniel Suarez, he did accomplish that. He came up through the ranks in NASCAR Mexico, wins the Xfinity Series with Joe Gibbs championship, wins a road course in the Cup Series, and then closest win ever last year, right? At Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
He's too good of a story coming up through NASCAR Mexico. We need international drivers. He's done the NASCAR Brazil race. He's going to be somewhere. I think the big speculation is legacy. If they get this third full-time charter, put him over there. They've improved. He's already raced at Toyota, being at Joe Gibbs. And I hope we're going to re-sign this deal to go to Mexico. And we shouldn't be going there without him. So hope he gets on somewhere.
Suarez, I mean, he's a genuinely nice guy. He brings good sponsorship. I think he's pretty well connected down there with some business connections, and he'll find a ride, even if it's just for bringing in the money, because he can definitely do that. And he's got an entire fan base. I don't know if there's another Hispanic driver that I mean, I can't think of one. I mean, maybe coming up, but I mean, he holds that fan base, and I wish him the best. I hope that wasn't his decision. I hope he comes back, wins the championship.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good folks in his corner. His wife, his sister's with Max Verstappen's wife, so he's got the Max Verstappen connection. And then yeah, I mean,
Maybe you think he's going to Formula One?
Hell no.
Formula One. No, he's
I mean, if anybody could do it.
I've always wondered if Max talks to him when they're together, or if he's just like, this guy's not.
I think
good
they've
enough
definitely
to be
hung out,
sharing
'cause
the conversation space with me.
in the Full Speed season 2, he was like a big feature. I think he talked about speaking to Max, so I think there is some relationship there. I do want to see Max in a NASCAR at a road course. That'd be fire. But yeah, so my bad, Elliot.
Nah, do you think that Formula One drivers think that they are better wheelmen than NASCAR Cup drivers?
100%.
What? I don't know about that.
The entire world outside of North America has that view. And whether or
I
not
don't know. I don't know of any other countries other than America.
fair, I will say that it helps when they come over here and don't do well. But I think there's this silly like rivalry between us that we can't just coexist. Like I like both sports, prefer
Yeah.
NASCAR, but like we don't need to shit
Nah,
on
you
F1.
have to pick. You have to pick, dude. It's
I'm
very
pretty sure that
bipartisan.
Lewis Hamilton ran a faster lap time than Tony Stewart at one of the road courses when he tested. They did a little like promo where they swapped
Mobile
cars. Tony
One.
drove Lewis's and Lewis drove Tony's, and they like told Lewis to pit, and he's like, "Oh, the radio's not working," so he could get an extra lap in. But yeah, F1, especially like a mid-pack driver like Suarez, I've always wondered how Max views that.
Yeah. Somewhat of a side note, but have you guys seen the F1 movie?
Yep, I saw it, and
Is it good?
reviews coming out on movie projections next week.
We saw it yesterday. What were your thoughts on the movie?
It was good.
Good. She's a hardcore race fan now.
I mean, as she should be, dude. It's like it's like a drug. Once you get the first high, you gotta keep coming back.
How'd she like the Brad Pitt in the ice bath scene?
Did you like the Brad Pitt and the ice bath scene? Of course you did.
I thought
She
the
also
love
was the
interest
one.
put up no fight in that movie. She was just melting every time Brad said anything.
That's the only reason I watched the movie.
Oh, I know how it works.
It was also she was the one that convinced me at the NASCAR race to not wear ear protection. She convinced me I was soft. So
Whoa, did not expect
Yeah,
that.
dude. Who cares about your hearing? Tinnitus isn't even a real condition.
All right, there's 12 winners now. 8 more races until the playoffs, 2 road courses, Daytona, 9 different winners the last 9 races. Tell me we're going to get 5 new winners. And someone with a win doesn't make the playoffs, Weaker.
I mean, let's name folks that don't have a win that could pull it off, huh? So you probably
Busher
Reddick,
could win one of the road courses for sure.
Busher,
Allmendinger,
McDowell, maybe.
Gibbs or McDowell. Yeah. Could win
Yeah.
Any
And then
Stenhouse can win at Daytona. There's 3.
yeah, Kyle
you
Busch
just
can win
need me,
anywhere.
dude. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I said last week I'm done picking him. It's until he does it, I will not believe it's gonna happen. R.I.P.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
What could have been, man? He never should have left.
So are we off the Kyle Busch train officially?
Oh, I'm still on it. I'm on it forever, bro. I'm on it even after he retires. I'll be back on the Brexton train. But would SVG be the first one out if there's 17 winners? Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
think so.
who's on the bubble that I mean, SVG's gonna win in Chicago, right? He's got to.
right? Because if he gets 2 wins, then he goes ahead of the people with 1.
Yeah, that is how that works.
Okay.
And he should have won both Chicago races. Went back and was looking at them. I did not know Denny Hamlin was on the pole of the first Chicago street course, but he was.
Nobody
SVG
cares.
SVG wins. And then last year, Chase Briscoe just sent it into the corner and just wiped out SVG. He was in the Saucy Nugs debut for Wendy's car. All right.
It was kind of like
Yeah.
this. It was like the same thing that Kyle Busch did at Mexico. It just like tried to break in wet conditions, just completely lost it, and just takes out a guy like 8 years ahead of him.
What happens if there's 17 different winners?
Whoever's lowest in points is out, unless SVG would be lowest. If he has 2 wins, he jumps the single win cars, and then I think Josh Berry would probably be out.
Getting to the point where I think they need to change up the way the championship works. I'm getting tired of the playoffs.
Good segue there, because NASCAR's most exciting driver said last week that we are in the good old days. Fans can bitch and complain about it all they want, but the good old days are right now. That's Joey Logano for you, Elliot.
Well, also I saw Ryan Blaney came out and said something like, so what? We only had 500,000 more viewers. NASCAR's crushing it right now. So I mean, I think it's real weird that the Penske guys just rallying together to talk about how well things are going. Not to say they're not. I'm just got my tinfoil hat on with that one.
I thought that was a pretty weak tweet from Blaney. Not weak, just like I don't know if he understands. First of all, 1.6 million viewers Saturday night is a low number. It's significantly lower than NASCAR normally pulls for a Cup Series race because it's on Saturday night, but also it doesn't include
Maybe NASCAR's dying.
it doesn't include the people viewing on Max. And this is why they don't do a lot of Saturday night races, because the ratings just aren't the same as Sunday afternoon. So 1.6 isn't totally accurate, but we don't need to be within 500,000 viewers of F1 for sure.
I also think it's because it was on TNT, probably less folks have TNT and more folks were using unnamed streaming services that I will not be exposing.
There's some of that out there. I did my part.
Oh,
I
it's all
turned it on the
fraud, dude. It's
iPad
all
and on the TV.
scam.
Got them 2 viewers.
Do they have different angles?
I had the iPad on Carson Hocevar in-car camera because I was watching him go from the back to the front multiple times in the race. So that was pretty cool. You should try that.
Do you think? All right. So, who are we thinking that one of the old guys is going to be able to pull off a win?
Let's check the schedule. What tracks we got left?
Iowa's in there.
Ooh,
That sounds like a Kyle Busch track.
I was really fast at Iowa last year. He got wrecked, I think, in that Larson wreck when Larson tried to go 3 wide. But yeah, it starts at Darlington. Yeah, so we got Daytona, Richmond, Watkins Glen, Iowa, Indy, Dover, Sonoma, Chicago.
I think it's possible. I think Daniel Suarez is going to turn heads upside down. He's going to win one. Brad K is going to pull off a win. KFB is going to get a dub. SVG is going to be left holding the bag. It's just going to be calamity.
There's some wild cards in there too this weekend. There's 41 cars entered, so someone's not going to make the race. The extra people are Corey Heim, who's got a sick 67 paint scheme for 2311 this week. Josh Balicki, who's like a road course guy in Garage 66. Catherine Legg's back. And Will Brown. I don't know much about him.
Supercars. He's like SVG, like 2 year, like a lot younger SVG. Yeah. I think he won the title last year.
He might be the defending champ.
Is he going to be a surprise guy?
What'd you say, Elliot?
Yeah.
I would say, is he going to be our surprise winner?
The 2024 Supercars champion, Will Brown.
What's the spread on a Will Brown win this weekend?
He'll be in the 13 for Colleague Racing. Let's go see.
Oh, he's in the 13? Okay.
Yep.
He's ran races in the 33 for RCR before.
How did he do?
Not good.
Paint scheme for some bootleg Mobile X paint scheme for Will Brown in the 13. If he doesn't go out there and do super well, I think that has to be some points for SVG, right? It's not just like every Supercars champion can come over here and run well.
Yeah. Where did he finish? He finished 31st at Sonoma, so not great. Yeah.
Sonoma. When is the Sonoma race? Has that already happened?
No, a couple weeks.
I think it's after Chicago.
That would be a fun one to go to.
Back-to-back road courses.
Go out to wine country for the weekend.
I honestly I don't think SVG is going to win Chicago, but I do think he's going to win Sonoma.
Guess who the wreck was last year? First wreck.
Chicago?
Probably Denny Hamlin's bitch ass.
Corey LaJoy.
Oh, well, that's not a surprise either.
Larson, I don't think of him as a great road course racer, but both Chicago races, he's been right in the mix till he fucking ran into the tire barrier. Just in classic Larson fashion, just torpedoed himself. But he also was battling SVG in the Xfinity Series in that first Chicago road course race. So Gibbs was up front, Ty Gibbs last year as well. We saw him run well in Mexico. Bell is like low-key the best road course driver outside of SVG right now. And he had Craftsman on his car the last 2 Chicago races.
Don't sleep on the guy that probably should have won last year had he not hit the wall on too tight of a turn, Tyler Reddick. He's been slumping a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if they've been scheming at the road courses, trying to save up something at 2311 and maybe come out with a bang this weekend.
Yeah, he was going to catch Bowman last year, but we didn't talk about that Superman car almost going to victory lane.
That thing was sweet, dude.
That's who I thought was going to win. He hesitated. Chase took the line, and he didn't. He lost. But we didn't really spend much time on Atlanta at all. When I was watching qualifying, Junior was really pressing that Atlanta's pavement is going to wear and the racing's not going to be like it was. I thought the huge wreck really helped the race. Like, it kept them from bunching up and allowed a bunch of space to operate. But yeah, we really didn't even talk about how great of the race Atlanta was.
I
Well,
will
I mean, so
say,
your car tried, and you cut him off and went into
nah.
some other tangent.
Well, get in there.
Junior says it all the time, but it's like an old Daytona and Talladega. But you could see the handling matter. But there's nothing better than going to an Atlanta race and watch the cars dive into three and make up like 6 car lengths on guys. Like you said, Jordan, once I was telling Kirti, usually big wreck happens first stage. They ride around for 100 laps. They don't try to pass. They just try to get to the end. Didn't happen at all. They were still fighting hard. I mean, you had guys go to the back and come back through strategy, but it was kind of the main guys at the front, but there was still a lot of shuffling. Probably the best cars, the cream rose to the crop. Fuck, the cream
Yeah,
rose to the top.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know that he did that last year, right?
I think, yeah. But what was it? Probably Brad and Chase had the 2 best cars, and then it was probably Bowman, Reddick, and maybe Hocevar were also really solid. Kirti wanted to put a little money on Riley Herbst when he was, and then I looked down at my phone trying to bet on Riley Herbst with our terrible service at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and Riley Herbst spun out. So
Uh, Atlanta puts on. They just put. It's a really fun race. It's starting to become maybe one of my favorite races of the year. Every time they go back there, the night race is, I think, even cooler than the day race.
Yeah, the dates didn't work out for me this year, but I got to get there next year for sure.
Yeah, it's a cool track.
The
it's a
wreck,
really good facility too. We got there like 5:30, like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours before the race started. But like the fan zone is sick. They had like a bunch of cars just doing donouts, like putting up colored smoke. I mean, the crowd was just insanely good. Like it was so fun to be there. So yeah, come on, Checkers or Records 2026. We're going to both Atlanta races.
Hell yeah. Well, Atlanta, I think, like it got a serious facelift because it got destroyed by like a tornado or something. I think in like the early 2000s. They pretty much got a insurance claim and renovated the whole track. So, um, give a big shout out to Mother Nature this week on the Checkers and Records podcast.
and once that wreck happened, there were only 2 cars on the track that had won a race, SVG and Larson, and neither of them are good super speedway drivers. So it was almost guaranteed that someone new was going to win. I thought that really added to the excitement, and maybe that added to how they were pushing so much instead of just riding around all race. Not sure.
Yeah, it was the only thing that I was like, not bummed about, but I think I watched an onboard maybe when I was watching the highlights back. I just wish they were going a little bit faster. Like I think they're only going like 185 into one, but because of how small the track, not how small, but like how it's not a Daytona or Talladega, it does not look like 185. It looks like a full 200. So,
Has the
Yeah, it makes
lady
sense.
has the lady seen Days of Thunder?
have you seen Days of Thunder? No. Well, are you going to see Days of Thunder 2?
You gotta watch the first one first, right?
Yeah. She wants to watch 21 Jump Street tonight, but maybe it's now Days of Thunder.
You got like a
Days of
year. You got at
Thunder.
least a year to. I think you got time for 21 Jump Street tonight.
No, not a chance. It's Days of Thunder or nothing.
But yeah, Days of Thunder 2 confirmed, and I don't know that it's been confirmed that Sonny Hayes will be in it, but that's the rumor out there, is that Sonny Hayes is going to cross over to Days of Thunder.
That'd actually be insane. What's Sonny Hayes versus Tom Cruise? Cole Trickle?
Well, I'm guessing that Tom Cruise is going to have to be the crew chief or something, like Doc Hudson from Cars. He's too old now, and he's going to need another old movie star driver to come in.
I don't
And
know, man. It's Tom Cruise, though. You think Tom Cruise is gonna do a movie and not want some action?
that's
But
fair.
Tom Cruise is definitely gonna get in a car and beat some young guy in a race just to show him he's not what he thinks he is. I mean, I can see it now. Just to
1990.
prove
So
that he's still got it.
he was probably like 25 in that
In the
movie.
first one, Tom Cruise?
And the character Cole Trickle was probably 25. So you just jump forward 35 years. Like,
Days of Thunder 2 doesn't necessarily have to be set in 2025. I mean, it's a fictional movie, man. They can have that thing set whenever they want.
yeah, maybe it's Sonny Hayes. They said in F1 that he raced in NASCAR. Maybe they'll put the makeup on Brad and make him look younger, and they'll show us how they were rivals. Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt going at it.
Tom Cruise is such a weirdo that he might just try and like make himself look as young as possible and just try and claim that only like 1 or 2 seasons has passed.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
My rant about the F1 movie real quick is that the first half of the movie is the plot is like 9-year-old in an F1 open lobby online. Like, it's just, oh, if I crash him and bring out a safety car, then we can catch back up.
I had fun and I was smiling at the end. And when you watch
Yeah.
racing movies, you just kind of have to suspend realism. They're just going to
Yeah.
do ridiculous stuff. But they really made him like a NASCAR driver. That's how he acted and all of his like cowboy attitudes. And the stewards would have destroyed them if any of those things had happened in an actual race.
Make Formula One great again is what I hear.
Formula One.
Wish the sun would come out, man. I'm all seasonally depressed down here in this shitty rain.
How about Chris Gabehart, crew chief, and Ty Gibbs? Speaker, is that going to help him get in the playoffs?
Oh, I do like that. I don't know if Denny likes that, but I thought the whole point of him retiring was to help all the teams, and now he's just like, fuck, Gibbs is struggling. He's getting flamed. I mean, I don't think Ty Gibbs would ever be on the hot seat, but if he goes 3 years in JGR equipment and doesn't even I mean, he's sniffed a win, but he's not really been that close. It's not been like, oh, Ty Gibbs had this race won and then XYZ happened. But yeah, Gabehart's a sick crew chief. He's going to make the right calls, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ty Gibbs wins one of the next 2 races on the road courses.
That would shake things up. What position is he in the standings? He couldn't even be in the top 20.
He's far out of the points, but he is in the tournament, so he must have been in the top 32. Gibbs made it past 100 starts, right, with no wins. Bubba Wallace is 96 races now without a win, and he's on the bubble, which we know is going to move, and Gibbs would jump Bubba and put him outside. Michael Jordan's going to keep Bubba there, I'm pretty sure, but
I don't know, dude. At some point, at some point, Bubba's got to win, and I mean, consistently. It just feels like Tyler Reddick's so consistently at the top that it makes Bubba look worse than he probably is.
definitely.
I think Bubba can get good out of the equipment, but I think Reddick can get the best out of the equipment and probably overperform it. So, like you guys said, it's going to be a losing battle for Bubba. I saw a quote. I don't know if it's legit, but I saw a quote from him, and it was like, yeah, if I'm not really competitive, I don't really see myself doing this much longer. So I don't know if maybe a early retirement might be in the cards for Bubba.
He
not
said
getting
that
any
at the
younger.
beginning of the year. I haven't heard any more about it. We'll see.
Yeah, I could definitely see him taking a step back if he were to lose his ride, at least for a little while, and then maybe make a comeback tour or something. That would actually be a cool story, probably too.
It took Michael McDowell 358 starts to win a race.
You shut your mouth, dude.
I didn't
This is
found that out.
Pro Michael McDowell podcast.
I'm not a hater. I'm a big McDowell fan, actually. And he was a big proponent of, did you know they did a podium at the Mexican race?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, McDowell was on there like, yeah, I had all kinds of podiums in the different leagues that I raced in. I feel like they should bring that back. But the reason I saw that is because Daniel Suarez 195 starts before his first win. So Larson 99. I know he was in the 42, but 99 starts before he got a win.
Hey, sometimes all it takes is Chase Elliott was like that too. It took him like 3 seasons before he got one. He came in second place a lot of times.
99 starts for Elliott, 98 for Byron. Okay. All right. Maybe we should.
I mean, maybe that 100 race threshold is where, you kind of start looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's also, I think, that like 2017 to 2020 Hendrick era was like end of COVID. They kind of kicked it back up. But yeah, Chase and Byron were struggling for a little bit. That was back when Kyle was hot. That's why I remember it so well.
Elliot, guess how many for Denny Hamlin?
Like 41 or something.
21.
11.
21.
Dang it.
Yeah, I figured it'd be something impressive.
All right.
How many championships does he have, though? He's like the Dallas Cowboys of NASCAR.
Miss Blaney's pregnant. Did you see that?
Shout out Miss Blaney.
Hell yeah, good for her.
Good for Ryan. Congrats on the sex.
There's going to be an even younger Ryan Blaney?
Ryan Blaney Jr., hopefully.
Nice. Or it'd be awesome if they named, what was his dad, Dave?
Dave Blaney the third?
Yeah, hell yeah. No, he'd be the second, man.
No. It's Dave Ryan Blaney. You guys weren't aware? No.
Dave Ryan Blaney. You got to call him by all 3 names if they go that route.
Is there another driver who, I just remember Dave Blaney in a filler driver in the Cup Series, riding around at the back at Charlotte Motor Speedway? Is there another?
He was the 25th place. He just held it down back there in the middle of the pack.
Like, has there
there's
been a driver? Or my question is, has there been a driver that ran at the back like that, and then their son became a star? We've had the inverse a lot, and now his son's one of the best.
I definitely
Probably,
think he's the only driver that's like outperformed his parent.
I think someone on track too could be a Carson Quapple, for his dad Travis Quapple.
Mm,
But
Is
he's
he coming
still,
up?
yeah, I think he's a rookie in the Xfinity series right now. But he drives the one car for Junior Motorsports, so he's
yeah,
a pretty good talent.
it's the King's 88th birthday today. Shout out Richard Petty.
Damn, he is getting up there.
And then
Can the
it's been
outro to
50.
this pod? Can the outro to this pod be Richard Petty by Billy Strings?
Yeah, we can pull
Yeah,
that
hell
up.
yeah.
I might have to have you sing over it so they don't pull the podcast down.
Come on. I'll do an acapella freestyle or something.
It's also 15 years since Dale Jr. took the Wrangler 3 to victory lane at Daytona in the Xfinity Series.
Wow. People
I
don't
remember
forget.
I remember that race because I was watching it, and Kyle Busch had like he was running the NASCAR, but he had like a green and yellow like lime NASCAR, and I remember thinking that was the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Derek Rose, the Grand Marshal this week. That's a fun get. I know you're a fellow
D Rose,
basketball
D
fan,
Rose.
Speaker. Are you a
Yeah,
Suns fan?
I am a Suns fan, but it was a tough year, but I'm very very happy with the moves we've made so far.
But you're
So
also a Mercury fan. Are you a Sophie Cunningham supporter?
I am a Sophie. Well, Kirti,
She plays for the
cover
Fever,
your.
doesn't she?
I am
That's
a Sophie
Indiana
Cunningham
Fever.
fan, but she
Yeah,
was
but she spent years on the Mercury.
and then unfounded
She's the
allegations
best.
that she was fucking the GM came out, and then they traded her, and then
Yeah,
she just won the WNBA Commissioner's Cup yesterday. So congrats to my Indiana Fever, my second team.
that's my
So
team.
Yeah,
for real.
I'm an Indiana. I know I'm an Indiana Fever fan.
All right, and then what was
While
the
we're on
last thing I
basketball,
had?
can I on a more serious note, something terrible happened in the basketball community yesterday, and I would like to take a moment of silence for our fallen hero, Red Panda. Get healthy. Come back soon, Red
It,
Panda. You will be
I did.
missed.
I saw that she broke her wrist, man, and I think that after a 30-year run, I mean, she's been doing WNBA games for so long, and now Adam Silver has a nerve to make her do MNBA games too. I mean, it's just not fair to her body. And at some point, even the best athletes are going to break down.
For those unfamiliar, can we break down Red Panda's act real quick for the listeners at home?
Like 20 feet unicycle, plate spinning, small Asian woman, and she is named Red Panda. She's got to be from China, right? If it's Red Panda, isn't that
Most
the
definitely,
animal of
but
China?
she also has like a trap Chinese folk song remix, and it goes so hard. Like I would listen to that every day on repeat.
Well, I didn't know that that existed. I'm gonna have to look that up as soon as this podcast ends.
All right. It's rained each year, which has made for wild ass races and people just looking absolutely foolish on the track. It's 50% chance of rain again this Sunday. I don't know if it always rains on the 4th of July in Chicago, but I hope we
That
don't see
sounds
a
like
delay.
a Dolly Parton song. It always rains on the 4th of July in Chicago.
I think
I mean, I don't know. I love when it rains at the road courses. I think it's way more fun.
Yeah, I hope it rains before.
I feel like it's
Get some
Well, they'll
slick
happened
race in
spots.
the
enough.
rain, won't they?
I feel like it's happened enough now that like NASCAR needs to stop throwing the caution when the rain hits and like let the teams like pit under like just keep it green and see what happens like an F1 race. Let teams like
Yeah, they got
stay
the
out there
flashing
on the
lights. They got
slicks.
the windshield wiper.
Yeah, I thought they were able to race in at least like rain as long as it wasn't lightning and whatnot.
Personally,
Yeah.
I don't know if I've said this with y'all before, but I kind of wouldn't mind bringing back single file restarts everywhere. Is that a hot take?
Yes, yes. You
Yeah,
telling
with
me
the
single file restarts at Talladega is going to be a popular choice? Absolutely not.
I
I
mean
mean,
just
it'd
with
be
the
kind
whole
of fun.
dirty air thing.
For who?
Yeah,
The guy in first?
it'd be fun to talk about it until the first race, but the whole dirty air thing, I think it's a horrible combination.
Hey,
It's
you
not
know
the
what I think we need to be paying attention to this weekend?
What's that?
What kind of tires Goodyear brings to the track? I feel like nobody's bitched about that in a long time. We need to be really concerned about what kind of rubber compounds Goodyear's bringing out
It
to the
was
Chicago street course.
it was nice to see tires matter last week at the end of the race. Hocevar was wild in last week. He's driving through the field on the TV. You couldn't see it, Speaker, but like tape's flying off the hood because his car's so banged up. He gets tires and went like 20th to 8th in 2 laps. Hopefully they bring something that wears a little bit.
I think it's probably Hocevar to the 48 and then Bowman to Spire is what I'm guessing. We just got to make some picks now, don't we?
Yeah. I forgot to mention Connor Zilisch, 11th last week at Atlanta.
With a beat-up race car.
Yeah. All right, who wants to go first?
Who you guys got?
Give me Tyler Reddick in the 45.
Just because I don't want to be lame and pick SVG. I'm going to pick the guy that I don't want to win, and that is Christopher Bell, the best road course racer out there.
Dude, I will say I saw the 20 car this week. It's a sweet ride. I don't know if y'all seen it or not. It's like it's a red, but it's like a blood red almost. It's a lame pick to win, but it's gonna be Mr. Suarez. Calling it now. He's gonna go on a terrifying win the next 8-9 races in a row. Coast into the championship. Cakewalk all the way to the final 4, and then probably win that thing by lapping the whole field. To be honest with you.
Vamos.
All right. That's it. I guess we will see you. I was trying to make a Chicago joke, but I couldn't figure it out right there. I did get caught by the daily downfords this week. NASCAR required teams to train all team members on the difference between gunshots and fireworks sounds ahead of.
Was that real? Or was that was a parody thing?
That had to have been a parody.
That is funny. Well, I mean, I hope everybody stays safe then.
Yes, sir.
It's 4th of July after all, dude.
Happy 4th of July to everybody.
Yeah, red, white, and blue.